So Alec Baldwin being charged with involuntary manslaughter, as the Santa Fe County DA says is that's going to happen
by the end of the month.
By the end of the month, really has an effect on all productions if this goes to trial. And we've heard the DA say that one of the main reasons that they decided that they could charge Alec Baldwin was because they felt like he was negligent as an actor. There's also his alleged negligence as an executive producer.
Well, the executive producer looms large too.
It does, that's true. But what does this mean for actors as far as handling guns? We had heard this debate about handling prop weapons and whether or not actors really should check them, or is that the job of other people on set? The DA seems to think that it is absolutely something the actors should be doing. So
strike the word seems.
Yeah, absolutely. Stricken from the record, Counselor. Thank you. Joining us now to talk about how this changes productions, Douglas Stewart, who was an actor in Rust, played the town father, and he is joining us right now. Douglas, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hey, Douglas.
Hello. Wish it was under better circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your opinion about this? I mean, Alec is going to be charged both as an actor and as an executive producer. Those are different functions, but particularly on the actor side, what's your reaction?
First, I want your listeners to know that I'm a member of Actors Equity for Stage and a member of SAG-AFTRA. And as an actor, I've been involved in 2 films where I had to use guns. I was in a TV series where I had to use guns. And I've been in stage plays where I've had to use guns. In all of those previous experiences, there were strict procedures followed. And this is sometimes decades ago and more recently, but there are procedures already in place by both SAG-AFTRA and with Actors Equity and even any non-union play where if you're handling a gun, either the stage manager or in the case of a film, an armorer is in charge of handing the gun over to the actor. So the actor, in all of my experiences, has never checked the gun, double checked it. You're not allowed to open the chamber, check the barrel, anything. You're given the gun by an armorer or an assistant armorer. And I remember one film I did, Lightning Jack, and everybody probably in the cast had a gun. There were big shootouts, with people robbing a bank, and all the townspeople came out with guns. Every one of us had a handler, and they handed us a box. They opened the box, they checked the gun, they showed everyone around you in the scene that this chamber is empty, and they, particularly the actor, that the gun you're handling is empty or cold.
Douglas, on this, while filming Rust, and I don't know if your character handled a gun or not, but in your experience, did you see other actors, because there are a lot of shooting scenes in this film, were other actors checking their weapons, or did everybody do what Alec did?
Well, good question, but my scene was shot 3 days before the actual event happened with Baldwin and Halyna. And so we had no guns in my scene at all. We were city fathers, and Frances Fisher, who's the leading lady in the film, certainly didn't have any guns. There wasn't anything. I was in a trailer all day waiting for my call from the assistant producer to show up on the set. I was driven to the set, and we walked in, and there were only costume people, lighting and sound, and Halyna and Joel was in the room. Alec had not even traveled into Santa Fe for the shoot yet.
I have a question about the other role of Alec Baldwin here. He was an executive producer. There are some executive producers who are famous and actors and are very hands-on, and there are others where it's more of a vanity thing, where they get an executive producer credit, but they're not really day-to-day producing the movie. Which was he? Because it's relevant.
I think it was a perfunctory role. It's just he's probably was giving up his salary in lieu of points. So when the film came out, he would make his money on the back end. He was not a day-to-day producer. He wouldn't have been, in my mind, involved in any aspect of safety, for example, anything to do with production, whether it was lighting, sound, costuming, name your production item, that wasn't his role at all. I've been offered a producer role to help with a film, to just get it seen or present a screenplay or a treatment of the film in front of somebody like Netflix. But so you would get a producer credit, but I wouldn't be involved in any aspect of the film itself. So that was, to my understanding, that was not his role in at all. That's
going to be extremely relevant in this trial, because I have a feeling that's a core part of the defense.
So, Douglas, we're just about out of time. I'm just question for you on the next film that you're working on. If you are handling a gun, will you check the chamber yourself?
I will not. I will ask the armor. I will be more certainly asking the armor again to double check in front of everyone. And that supposedly happened that day that Alec Baldwin had that gun. He was given the gun, and it was given a clear, cold. Yeah. It's a cold gun on the set, and you've got to trust that by the professionals. They're the safety professionals, the armorer and the assistant director that was given that gun. To me, they're the ones that are responsible.
Douglas, this is so interesting. I'm so glad we had you on today, because I think you've really presented the core of what the defense is going to argue if this case goes to trial. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Really appreciate it.
All right.
That is it. I mean, and if he's right that the custom is not for an actor to check the guns, that is going to weigh.
Regardless of whether some actors did, it's not the
because
custom
they've got to
set.
essentially prove recklessness here.
Right.
And if that's custom, that's a real solid defense on Alec Baldwin's part.
Yeah.